Portable TV. Come watch with me.
Well, the war of words is heating up between China and the United States. Talk about war of words. I think we just had one over the origins of the COVID-19 virus. Well, a new report has shown that the earliest cases of COVID-19 appearing stateside happened in December of 2019, a couple weeks before, earlier than even believed. So was it brought here or was it already here? Well, China has taken the opportunity to push back on the United States, saying that with the new report, the burden is on the U.S. to conduct its own investigation into the origins of the virus. This after the U.S. is now pushing for a renewed international effort to investigate a potential lab leak theory in China's Wuhan province. RT's Ben Swann has more.
I've been reporting for over a year now that gain-of-function research was taking place at the Chinese lab in Wuhan, China. Now, that news has now become pretty mainstream, but the Chinese authorities are now saying that if we're going to look at the origins of the COVID-19 virus, we need to be looking at the United States, because a new study has found that there are at least 5 cases of COVID in the United States dating back all the way to December of 2019. That study by the NIH finds that at least 7 people in 5 U.S. states were infected with SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, weeks before the United States reported its first official cases. The chief epidemiologist with the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention told state-owned Global Times that attention should shift to the United States, which was slow to test people in the early stages of the outbreak and is also the home of many biological laboratories, saying, quote, all bioweapons related subjects that the country has should be subject to scrutiny. A report by a U.S. government national laboratory concluded that it was plausible that the virus had leaked from the Wuhan lab. But the idea that the origin of COVID might be connected to the United States, well, that is not far-fetched at all. Consider the fact that gain-of-function research, the process by which scientists work to make a virus more efficient and even lethal, has been conducted in the United States for almost 2 decades. In fact, the U.S. funding to research at the Wuhan lab only began after the government banned gain-of-function research in the United States in 2014. Meanwhile, for its part, the Biden administration is demanding a new investigation into the origins of the virus, and specifically at the Wuhan lab. The Biden administration says that China must allow an independent investigation here, and if they don't, that they would face consequences from the international community. That, according to Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, who said this was agreed to at the G7 summit. For the News with Rick Sanchez, I'm Ben Swann.
Joining us now for more on the story with COVID, the origins of COVID, and the lab leak, aspect to this is Dr. Dean Hart. He's an expert in microbiology. Dr. Hart, it's great to have you on. There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding about the potential origins of the COVID-19 virus. One of the things, I don't know if you heard the report by Ben Swann. He talked about the whole gain of function theory with this. I'm really confused about that. Walk me through this in layman terms. What exactly does that mean? And is it a plausible theory when it comes to the origins of COVID-19?
Well, humans have strived to get rid of a virus that caused human damage since 1796. They started with a smallpox vaccine. Now we've gotten more sophisticated and we deal with the most deadly of virus. China has one lab that can deal with that virus, and they may not have the skill set to have not made a human error. To me, it seems like a human error. But all the Western allies decided to put this lab in China, in Wuhan. The major money was made by the French, the Australians, the Americans. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, not a million here and there. Now, personally, I'd rather they do the virology experiment in China, if they want to, rather than my backyard or Maryland or Baltimore, where the NIH has its labs. I think some klutz let this thing out, yes.
Of the Institute of Virology in Wuhan.
By accident, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is, it's interesting, and you talked about the financials. When you look at the background and the organizations that are involved with the Institute of Virology, there's something, by the last count that I did, something like 20 U.S. universities that have doctors and that do research with this institute. So it's not just the Chinese involved. Yes, there are American researchers and scientists that are there as well. This is a theory. I mean, look, it goes back to the beginnings of the pandemic, and it certainly became so incredibly politicized, and it remains to be the case. China, as is often the case in the MO of China, the U.S. puts an assertion out there, China counters it with an assertion of its own, saying, well, hey, hold up, you better look at yourselves. Look at maybe it emanated from the United States. Is it possible that the virus was here before even China? Is it, what do you make of that whole theory?
I believe Wuhan, due to its proximity to the bat population that have the coronavirus, purposely wanted to protect and help their citizens. That's a noble national thing to do. Do I think that there was a slip up and some of these virus got out of Wuhan? That's the most plausible theory. I suppose somebody higher up than me will investigate all sorts of data that's right now being covered up, but I don't think we'll ever know anything more than this.
Yeah, well, the mystery continues, and so does the political contention surrounding it. So, Dr. Dean Hart, appreciate it. Thank you for your time, sir.
You're welcome. It's not a political thing to keep people safe from virus.